Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome on the next live Grasshopper session. Learn Grasshopper live is on. We have new guests with us. Hello, Roy. Hello, Manoj. Can you hear me?
Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Can you see my screen as well?
Yeah, I can see you clear.
Okay, we have already some people here, so don't worry. We are going to start in a couple of minutes, exactly in 6 minutes. So we will start exactly at 2 p.m. So please prepare some water, some coffee, and we'll start in 6 minutes. So Roy and Manoj, where are you based right now?
So we are currently based in Warsaw, Poland. We're working here.
Yeah, it was fun to meet you. I met you when I was coming back from Paris, so I met you in Warsaw. So actually, I was surprised that you are working in Poland, and actually, it was fun to meet you, have lunch together. It was great time. But Roy, how you find from South Korea in Poland?
Well, actually, it's my second time that I'm staying in Poland. So I actually studied my university for 1 year in Krakow. So it's been a while that like after 8 years, I'm coming back to Warsaw, Poland. So I was really impressed because everything has been changed within these 8 years, and life in Warsaw is really great. So compared to Korea, like when I try to communicate with the clients in Europe, you know that the time difference is much shorter. So I'm really enjoying my life here in Warsaw. Yeah.
And you, Manoj, are you prepared for the Polish winter? Do you have extra jacket?
Yeah, currently I have this one. I'll buy a new one as well.
Yeah, I'm afraid that it can be not enough compared to Indian summer. Okay, so we are going to start really soon in 4 minutes. Please let us know on the chat if you can hear us well. We have two people from Midas IT. How long have you been working, Roy, in Midas?
Well, I've been working in Midas for 3 years now. So I'm the business development manager in charge of the UK and Europe regions in Midas. Yeah.
And you, Manoj?
For me, it's 2 years. So for the first year, I was in Mumbai. So I was working with Midas IT India. So we have this global technical center in India where we solve all the queries of our clients throughout the whole world. And then I was transferred to Midas IT Europe in Warsaw. So it's been like 1.5 years in Mumbai and then 6-7 months in Warsaw.
We have some of your supporters. We have Aman, Team India.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know Aman?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff, but maybe not that let's say structured as engineering stuff with bridges. He's more as a product developer, right? But pretty can be pretty useful stuff for if you are designing bridges as well, right?
Yeah, that's true.
We have also Krasimir. Hello, Krasimir. Yes, we can hear. People can hear us, so that's good. That's a good message. This is not important. Just write if you are on the chat. If you are Midas Civil user, just write if you are using right now. We know that Midas Civil is mostly used for bridges, but maybe some of you are also using for different structures. So Roy, it's Midas Civil is just only for structure engineering. How is it divided in Midas?
So I would say the Midas Civil, our main software, is used for bridge and civil engineering. But then we also have other products such as Midas Gen, which is for the building structures, and Midas GTSNX, which is focused for the GTSNX projects.
So today we are going to officially announce the Grasshopper connection, which was long awaited. My students been asking for last years for that one. So Manoj, when was the first release of the Grasshopper connection with the Midas Civil?
So first release was in May. After that, it was given to all of our Midas Civil NX users. And then some of them were really testing it a lot, and they have given us the feedbacks. And then those feedbacks were implemented continuously. And then last week we have another release, which is version 2.0. So it's as per the new feedbacks given by our clients. And the first release was in May, and then 2.0 was last week.
Okay, cool. And before, was it possible to connect Grasshopper with Midas?
So you can say it was not direct connection or live connection. So what you need to do is you just need to bake the geometry in the Rhino, and then you could have take out the DXF file, and then you can import it in the Civil. The another thing is you can make a manual sort of connection as well. We have this MCT script. So it's a text script. So each model that you create in Midas Civil, there is a script for that. So you can just use Grasshopper to create that script as well. So you can say it was a manual type of connection. So that MCT script file will have to be uploaded manually inside the software. So you can say it was like a manual connection, not a live connection earlier.
But now we have a live link, so now everything changed, and we are now on the bright side of the connection. So looking forward to this presentation. We will start in 1 minute. Krzysztof is with us, audible and visible, all good. So good to hear that. So remember, we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you are watching on one of the platforms, please give a like to share this channel to make it more regularly. It will motivate me to do it more often and invite new guests. So let me see. On my side, everything is all right. So actually, we can start. We have already 100 people live. So let's start with the webinar. So today it will be 1 hour, about 60 minutes. We'll see, but we are thinking about 45 minutes presentation and then 15 minutes for Q&A session. But everything depends on you, how many questions it will be. Recordings will be available to watch later. Everything is recorded, and link will be sent to registered. So everyone who registered on learngrasshopper.com webinar Midas with this QR code will get all the Grasshopper files and the presentation that you will see today. And important, this webinar is for you, for everyone who is watching this webinar. So ask every single question. If you are a Midas Civil user, so maybe you have also some technical question, please write them. We'll try to answer everything. So today, benefits of joining this webinar. So we're going to show how Grasshopper can be used for bridge designing. Since I'm a bridge design, I'm really looking for this presentation. So it's really important. This is really important for me. You will get access to all the Grasshopper files. As I said, Manoj, a developer in Midas, he's going to show us cool examples of how we can design bridges in Midas with Grasshopper, how we also can change geometry. So everyone who will register will get it. And at the end, we have the surprise. You can join the draw at the end of the session to win a prize. So if we go fill out this survey, so I will just paste the link. So if you are watching that on LinkedIn or on YouTube or Facebook, so you can just go to this link that I sent now in comments, and just fill out some questions. And today we are going to have 3 prizes, right, Roy? What are the prices? What are the prices?
So it's $100 of Amazon e-voucher or 3 random registrants. We will have a lucky draw event later on.
Cool. Can I take part of that as well, or is just for?
Sorry, you're not allowed. I'm sorry.
And we are going to, so at the end of the Q&A session, so at the very end, we are going to spin the wheel and actually we are going to find out 3 winners. So actually, it's a huge chance for win Amazon voucher. So please go to this link, fill out the survey. I think Roy going to mention this as well. Just for information, my name is Krzysztof Wojsław. I'm an educator. I try to teach engineers and transform their way of working into fun with the use programming. I'm also educator on the Norwegian University, where we have already students at the structural engineering studies that already are learning Grasshopper, C# and Python. So it's really cool way to introduce to new engineers programming. Okay, so that was all about me. Today it's everything about Midas. So Manoj, you can share your screen so we can see it. So Roy is a business development manager and Midas IT, and Manoj is a technical business development manager, and he's going to share with us Grasshopper development. But let's start with you, Roy. So just please, some people are here not users of Midas, so maybe if you can say a few words about Civil, Midas Civil, and what does it mean NX? It's something new, right?
So Civil Annex, the Annex stands for next generation. So from Midas Civil, the old Midas Civil, which was mainly for the bridge and civil engineering software. So we have been developed this into Civil Annex with some API connections because nowadays you know that the lots of engineers are interested into design automations. So we have developed the Civil Annex. And today, as Chris mentioned, our plugin for the Grasshopper has been released. So now we'll be talking about the Civil Annex and the Grasshopper integrations. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So hello everyone. I'm Roy. I'm the account and business development manager in charge for Midas IT Europe and UK regions. And here's my colleague Manoj. He's the technical and business development manager also for the Midas IT Europe and also the UK regions. And as I mentioned, today our Civil Annex of the Grasshopper plugin has been released. So we'll be collaborating with the Chris in Learn Grasshopper to discuss about this webinar. So here's the agendas. So firstly, for those who are not aware with the Midas IT, our company, so I'll just have a brief introduction of the Midas IT and followed by our new product, Civil Annex and its API connections, and the Midas Grasshopper plugins. And then we will have some practical examples with the videos. And lastly, we will talk about the support and the future development for the Grasshopper plugins. So after we started to developing the Midas software from 1989 in South Korea, so Midas has grown to become a global presence with over 1,000 employees and more than 20 branches in the world. So it's truly remarkable, I would say. So, but we do not stop here, but we are continuously expanding our services and striving to deliver the values of our Midas products to our customers all over the world. And as you can see here, Midas solutions have been applied to both historical structures and everyday structures that form an integral part of our lives. So as you can see, the Burj Khalifa's, Roski Island bridges, etc. So these are all built with the Midas software. So we offer a variety of the software solutions in the field of civil, architecture, and geotechnical engineering. And we are extremely grateful that these engineers use our products to add the values of their society.
And I think you choose all the epic structure that you can imagine. Like if you can choose the most epic structures that are designed in the world, so it was on the previous slide.
Yes, exactly. That's right. So here you can see that the Midas clients all over the global in the world. So we have lots of clients with major engineering firms such as Jacobs, Akamaru, Atkins, Arcadis, WSPs, etc. So I'm pretty sure that there are lots of attendees from these firms today and other firms also. And we are really truly appreciate on your works with the Midas, and I really appreciate. So we hope to support you more, and I think you will really enjoy this Grasshopper webinar today with this. Yep. And here's about our Midas service, where we are providing the Midas technical support and tutorials from our website, as you can see on the videos on the left. So you can just raise the ticket from our website, and our engineers will get back to you very quick, like I was saying, 1 to 2 days. And in the second videos, we also have renovated our website, where we are currently having now the Midas Academy, where all the tutorial videos are aligned in this Midas Academy. So you can just simply watch all the videos of tutorials from here. And of course, we have our own Midas YouTube, where you also can find lots of tutorials with different types of bridge structures. Yeah.
Are you planning to include their Grasshopper materials?
Of course. We actually had one webinar 2 weeks ago, and we have just recently uploaded that into the YouTube, so you can check it out as well. Yeah.
Cool. Looking forward to that.
Thank you. And here is the last part of my slide. So as Chris mentioned earlier, we are currently having a survey for the special gift. So all the registrants will receive all the Midas Grasshopper models, as well as lucky 3 registrants will receive each $100 of Amazon e-gift voucher. So I'll just leave this QR code on the right top of the corner of the screen, so that you can actually scan this while we are still having the webinar. So yeah, feel free to fill the surveys and try to win the prize. Yeah. So thank you. That's all for my side, and I'll give it to my colleague Manoj. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. So now we are going to on the Grasshopper and see Grasshopper in action, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And before you will start, Manoj, so maybe we can already answer the question: what version of Midas currently that supports Grasshopper?
So as you can see on the screen, we have written it is as Midas Civil NX and Grasshopper connection. So this API connection, the live connection that we have is with the latest Civil NX. So it's a kind of a upgraded version of the existing Civil. So you need to have the Civil NX version with you, which is the latest one, to have the Grasshopper connection.
Cool.
And
Thanks.
that is the only connection that supports API. Yeah. Okay. Thank you and very welcome to all of the joinees. Now, my name is Manoj Kheterpal. I'm a technical support engineer and business development manager for the Midas IT Europe. So today we are going to discuss about the Midas Civil NX and Grasshopper connections. So before starting with the Civil NX and Grasshopper connection, I'll give you some brief introduction about Midas Civil NX. And then I will try to introduce about our newly launched API. So what sort of API it is, and what type of connection that we are creating with the Grasshopper. And then I have prepared some example videos, which are basically practical example videos which we have in our usual day-to-day projects, the kind of structures that we create for the bridges. And then at the end, we'll take some question and answers, and I will share some new developments with the version 2.0 with the Grasshopper plugin that we have recently launched last week. So starting with the Civil NX. So it's a finite element solution for the civil engineering and bridge engineering structures. So if you are into basic structures like conventional bridges like culverts or slab bridges, you can very much handle inside the Civil NX. And then if you are into some advanced structures like integral bridges or steel box girders, steel composite girders, or even pre-stressed composite girders, and even you can have some segmental construction stages simulated inside the software. And then if you are into more advanced structures like arches or cable stay or suspension bridges, so the program has a lot of features like cambers and construction sequences, all these to take care of all the construction sequences and all the effects of these construction sequence as well. So as Roy already introduced about the NX version, so NX means the next generation. So it's a bit different from the existing Civil. So the difference is I can stand out in terms of, you can say, user interface. So we have upgraded the user interface and graphics. And then we have introduced our new API. So API literally means application programming interface. So you can say it has created a sort of connection with the third-party apps. So third-party apps, you can say like Grasshopper, or even you can say Excel VBAs, or even Python or Java or any other language that you are using. So any other third-party apps, if you can use and it can create a JSON script, so you can connect it with your Midas Civil NX version. And in the same way, we have some other different upgrades as well. So if you want some more information regarding that, just you can hit back to us and we can have a complete demonstration on that regard.
So you open not just for Grasshopper, it's open for other languages as well, right?
Exactly, yeah. So this is explained in my next slide. So any language or any software that can export a JSON script, you can connect it with the Civil NX. So what I mean by that is, let's say we have this RESTful API which connects with the server. So this JSON script will be sending to the server, and that server will be connecting to a Civil NX model. And in the same way, this Civil NX can also create the JSON script in itself. So it can actually take back, actually send back this JSON file to, you can say, your third-party apps as well. So this is explained in this slide. So as I was mentioning, any software that can export a JSON script, so you can take the help of these apps and parameterize your whole structure modeling part, and you can just use the Civil NX API for that. So languages like Python, Java, or Excel VBA, you can add JSON modules. And then in Grasshopper, we have our own plugins that helps to do that process. And even you can use Python inside Grasshopper to take care of that connection.
Just one comment for those who are first seeing into programming. So JSON file is a programming format file, and actually when you are working in Grasshopper, actually you are not touching JSON at all. It's just a file format that you are automatically export. So not to scare all the people. You don't have to deal with programming here, right?
Exactly. So as I was mentioning, we have the plugins to take care of that in the Grasshopper. So you don't have to touch it at all, and you just need to use Grasshopper plugins, and it takes care on its own automatically. So I'll move ahead. Yeah. So as I was mentioning, we have this REST API connection, and to use the JSON, because JSON is a very lightweight, you can say, language, and it's very user friendly as well. You can understand it really well. There is no, and many structural engineers actually use it. So Midas Civil NX, now the complete information can be converted into a JSON script. So with complete information, I mean the post-processing part as well. So even the whole results that you have can be converted into a JSON script, and you can use that JSON script to parameterize everything, even the pre-processing, and even you can take the automations to post-processing levels as well. So now I will try to introduce about our Grasshopper plugins.
Yeah, just let me. We have some questions, so just go before that about the licensing. So maybe Roy, you can answer. Does Civil NX works with the existing Civil license?
No, so the Civil NX is, I would say, is an upgraded version of service from the Midas Civil. So you will need to upgrade with some additional price, of course, yeah, so that you can be updated into Civil NX. So you can have both Civil and Civil NX to be the service. Yeah.
And keeping in the speaking about the licensing, do you have any educational version for the Midas Civil NX?
Yes, we do have some academic license for the universities. So yeah, if you're interested, you can maybe contact me later on after this email. Yeah, through the email.
And this educational version can also be connected with Grasshopper, right? Is there no limitation for educational version?
Yes, it is.
Manoj, can you come back to the previous slide? Is it possible?
Sure.
We have the question from Alex. Why did you make the data transfer through your server? It works terribly slow. Is it true, or maybe it's not true?
Actually, what can happen is there are some restrictions on the local, you can say, company-based. You can say, like, some companies put restrictions on data transferring. So sometimes they can feel like it's very slow. But if you can sort that out issue, like you can give, like you can say that, okay, this server is acceptable for my company. You can put it in that list, then the connection is pretty fast. We have servers all over the world as well. Even you can now try to use, you can say that in the initial times it was a bit slow because we were testing it and it was a new software, but now it works quite fast. I have checked it. You can actually, Alex, you can check it again. And if you're still facing it slow, you can just come back to us. We'll sort that out.
Okay, we have more technical questions. So let's stay with this slide. From Patik, is JSON file used for cross-section definition or is used for the whole geometry of the bridge?
So it's not just the sections. So it actually used for the whole geometry. So you can think of it in terms like, so the everything that is inside the civil annex, it's now converted into JSON script. So whatever the model that you have, even the loadings that you have, so you will be having a JSON script for that.
And the loads combination is the same, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for the last one from the technical part. Does NX API is accessible through C# to be used as a library inside Dynamo, for example?
If C# has a module for the JSON and it can connect with the server. So in Python, what we do is we add a JSON module and we have a REST request type of, you can say, Python module, and it connects with the server. So I haven't used C# myself, but in my presentation, we have it like C# is there, but I personally never used it, but I think it should be possible, to be honest.
But Midas, from your side, you are supporting the components in Grasshopper, right? You are not developing components for Dynamo. It's a Grasshopper that you're presenting all the open library.
Yeah. So for Dynamo, we do not have. If you want to make that connection with Dynamo, so we have this open API. So we have commands and we have a complete manual for that. So in my further slides, you will be able to understand. You can even create that API connection manually as well using languages like C# or Python or any other language. Yeah.
Yeah. And why to use Dynamo if you have Grasshopper? Okay, let's go to practical examples. I'm really looking forward to see some bridges. Ingeniero Mido, say thank you.
Okay. So as I was mentioning, we have released this Grasshopper plugin in May this year. So if you can see, if you will add this plugin inside from the package manager or Food for Rhino, so you will see Midas written on top in Grasshopper window. So we have this like more than 100 components for the Midas plugin. So almost all the informations, let's say starting from the geometry or even you can say boundary conditions or loadings or construction stage or moving loads, and even including load combinations or some analysis. And also you can take back the results as well. So all these components are already added. And also we have this open API. So even if you are checking that some component is not there, you can just simply write down a JSON script for that and directly connect it with your JSON component. And we have this JSON component which connects your JSON script, and you can use the API for that as well. And this connection, this plugin you can directly download from the package manager or Food for Rhino. And this is absolutely free, and you do not need any license to use it inside the Grasshopper. And the only license that is required is for the Civil Linux for that.
How many components you have created as a standard in Ribbon?
I mean, I don't know the exact number, but it's more than 100. Yeah,
I had it, and I'm pretty sure that in version 2.0 come new ones, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Okay, so the first example I have, this is a network arch. So you can say it's a 2D network arch. So in this script, you can change the span length. You can even increase the rise, you can say, of the arch, and then you can change the number of hangers, and also what is the angle of the hangers. So there is an optimized angle for the each arch, you can say. You get the different buckling mode shapes as per these hangers angle. So now you can use this beam component which is connected to a trigger. So we have connected all these beam components to a trigger. And then as soon as we press this, so it sends all the data back inside the Civil NX. So this is sort of a live connection, you can say. And then we have this get node ID component to define the supports. So in Midas Civil, it works in node and element based structure. So we need a node number to define the supports. So we have this get node components, node ID component. So you can use that to get that. And then you can define some materials or sections as it's visible now. Yeah. Okay, so now you can also define some loadings or load cases. So we have defined this self weight here. And then we have this buckling definition. So this is an analysis case, you can say, in which I have defined some mode shapes, how many mode shapes I want. And now we have this analysis component as well. So you can just simply press this analysis component to create the analysis in the Civil NX on the background. So now the analysis is complete. So now I have written a small Python script to take back the results. So I didn't use the component here because we do not have the component for the taking back of the mode shapes results. So we have currently for the beam or beam results and all. So I have used this Python script to take back the buckling mode shape results. So as you can see here, just one click, you get all the mode shapes. And if you can confirm it from the model, and you can see it's the same results that you are getting inside the model as well. So if you check it for the mode 2 for the confirmation, so it's the same thing. And now let's say I want to change something in the geometry. So let's say I will change the number of hangers, let's say. And then what I need to do is go back to my beam component again and just press this trigger again. And in the Civil NX, we'll have the updated geometry as per the new geometry you can see in the Rhino. So this geometry gets updated, and we have only added self weight, so there is no need to change anything else now. So you can just simply run the analysis again. And now again, with this one click, you get the new mode shapes. So in such a way, you can actually get close to an optimized geometry. And if you can be clever enough, I can say this optimizations can be created in a loop sense as well, where you can have a different loop running and give you the optimized sense. Yeah.
And actually, Patrick was first before me asking the question about the trigger button. That was also my question. Why do you use trigger button? Is just for enabling like activate component for just once? What is the purpose of the trigger button?
So you can say these components are actually live components. As soon as you connect it, let's say with some of the inputs, so they directly send the data back to the Civil NX. So we have used the trigger to control that connection. So let's say you have deactivated that component, and whenever you want, you can just trigger it and run it. And one more help that it can do is it can actually connect with, let's say, 4 or 5 components together. So let's say if you want to send, want to run beam and supports together, or let's say beam or sections together, so you can just simply connect it with the one trigger, and then it will send the beam and sections, you can say.
But it doesn't mean that you have to use trigger, right? Because we have the question from the Brandon. So it's Grasshopper Midas connection, not live like Rhino inside Revit. It seems a lot of triggers are being used, but actually triggers are just help here, right? To exchange the data and just to have a control, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So this is you can say you do not have to use it. It can actually be a live connection like that. So.
Yeah, but it's also that Brandon is a good recommendation. Just before sending to software, have a control first on Grasshopper and Rhino to see if like your geometry is not crazy. Because if you are creating crazy geometry in Rhino, so you will get sent crazy to Midas and everything will explode. So this is a really good recommendation. But I think, Manoj, you are going to change that in the version 2.0, right? This trigger button.
So, instead of trigger button, we are actually adding a manual run button. So you can just simply run that and you can just directly send the data with that as well. So I have some slide and a video for that as well. Yeah.
And on the last one, this is a really cool example because this is one of the bridges I've been designing, and I remember like every time changing some one parameter and calculating that again and coming back, and now it can be optimized. And this is also my question. This is one from Jefferson. So when you're when you are just can go with analysis and then can you retrieve all the information with Python to Grasshopper? So it looks like you can make this loop, right, and just send your information to Galapagos and optimize your structure. In this case, let's say find out like the minimum module or find out the lightest version of this bridge, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Okay. I think.
Nice presentation from Muhammad. And yeah, there are a few more cool examples. Question from Krzysztof. Is there currently a way to iterate automatically through various design variation? A look where you run statics. Check, for instance, deflection and rerun the analysis with increased section size.
Yeah, so you can say that there is a way. I mean, with Python, I have tried it. You can just run a loop. In Grasshopper, I have never tried, but one of my colleague has tried it, and I think it should be possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, like Grasshopper is not the best tool for loops because sometimes it can go in an infinitive loop. So it can be really dangerous, but with the Python, especially Python 3, like we have it, so it's really easy to just make this loop and you can retrieve the information. In this case, like on the screen, you can see like a module. And you can take all the information, right, from the Midas model.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
And one from Paul. Does changing geometry require the loading, construction, staging data, etc. to be updated, or can it be parameterized and made to update in real time?
Yes, you have to run those components again, but now in version 2.0, we have this another Midas modeler in which all the components connected to another component, which you need to run it once, and it runs everything in a sequential manner. So you can say that we have to, but in 2.0, you just need to run it once. You can say, yeah.
Perfect. Great. Let's go to next example.
Okay. So also, whatever the component that you are using, you can actually connect it with a panel, and you can see what script on the background that component is sending. So you can have a better visualization of the JSON script that you are sending to the CivilNX as well. And in the same way, you can just copy this script and connect with the JSON component, and you can run it manually as well. Okay, so the next example we have is this is a grillage model for the steel composite bridge. So I'll play the video for this. So to make the connection with the CivilNX, we have this API connect button, and you can see there is a MAPI key written here. So this is like an address for your model. So this connects with our servers. So you can say each of the model has one API key. Now you need to put it inside the API connect component. So now similarly we have this material models inside the Grasshopper plugins, and you can use them to define materials. And similarly we have sections. You just use these section components to define the sections, any sections that you want. And then again, you can define this, you can say another database of the shapes, and we have nodes and elements in the beam type connections as well. Okay, so as you can see here, with this one click, you can just have the complete geometry sent back. And in further, you can just have this tapering of the sections done as well inside the Grasshopper. So there is a tapered group component as well. And now with this get node ID component, you can get the nodes numbers on which you want to create the supports or bearings, or you can say links or rigid links. You can just simply use that get component. So what you need to do is whatever the nodes that you want node ID for, you just connect it with that component, and then connect it with the get node ID, and it will give you the node numbers that are present inside the model. And you can just simply use that to get the node numbers. So, and you can just simply define the supports according to that. And the same thing can be done for the UDLs or even the nodal loads. So for that, we need element numbers, you can say, and then you can just simply take that element number and define the, you can say UDLs or any other loadings as well. Yeah.
And for the question for everyone who is interested to get all these scripts that Manoj are presenting, so for every registrants we are going to send them. So all 3 examples that will be presented. So for those who still haven't registered, you can go to Learn Grasshopper /webinar Midas, and tomorrow will be sent presentation and Grasshopper script, so we can already play with these bridges. Okay, cool.
Thank you. Yeah. So next, let's try to define some loadings as well. So you can create load cases, and I was mentioning about the UDLs. So for that, we need the element number, and then you can use the get element number command, or you can say plugin for that. And the program will take the element numbers and then will connect it with the UDLs just like this.
So we are seeing loads, right? Now generated.
Exactly. And then we can just simply run the analysis. And we also have these load combinations which are present. And in Midas CivilNX, you can actually use the load combinations after the analysis. And then, as you can see, it was defined. And then you can take back the results, whatever the results that you want. And you can just run that command or component, and you can take back the results from the CivilNX model. And then this script is a parametric script, of course. And then you can just change the span and radius of the curve. So we have these different curves, and if you will get the file, you will be able to understand. So you can see, you can change the, you can say, number of girders or the element size of the members as well.
And yeah, if you can just play, can we visualize the loads in Rhino? Because now we can see on this example that you are just showing loads in Midas, but can we do it in Rhino as well?
No, I usually think that's not required, to be honest. But because with just one click, you are sending the complete information. Currently, there is no way to visualize it, but I think with user objects, it might be possible with some manual codings. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I also think like this is just information in JSON file. So if you have loads and the point, if it's a line load or is a point load, so actually you can just make a vector there or just set up kind of user interface. But I see your point, Manoj, here. Like, why do you need to present it if you have good user interface in Midas? But yeah, it's possible. But yeah, but it's just there is no, I think, direct components for that. You have to tweak it manually.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe we can take it as a feedback, and we'll try to update it in the future.
Mm-hmm. Like lots of good comments, like good stuff, guys. I'm just receiving all the way. So you're making great work. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay, so we can also define some moving loads and construction stages in the same script. So in Midas Civil, to create a moving load lanes, so you need a reference axis, you can say, or reference line. So again, you can use the get element for that. So you can just take back the elements and take it as a reference axis, and then you can create some eccentricity based on that, and then you can run the moving loads by defining some loadings as well. So we have some codes already updated inside the, you can say, Grasshopper plugin. And in the same way, you can add construction stages as well. So we need groups for that. So Midas Civil construction stages works on a group-based model. So for all elements or boundaries or loadings, you need to create some groups, and you can create those groups inside the, you can say, Grasshopper script only. And then you can connect it with the construction stages, and then you can have the construction sequence ready for you. So as you can see here, we have this construction sequence ready from the Grasshopper script, and we have sent it back to the CivilNX.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like making that manually, it was like lots of pain, and now that's like doing all the load combination. If you just make it once, so you can reuse it on the different projects, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's true.
In meantime, we have again question to Jason regarding the cross-section definition. Are the section properties calculated with Midas, or do they need to be passed through the JSON file?
I mean, I think what we need to understand is actually this JSON script on the background is using only Midas Civil NX UI. So what we need to understand is, let's say there are some you can say visualize figures, and you can say, let's say if you are defining a rectangular sections, so Midas Civil will ask for width and the depth. So this in this JSON file, there will only be a input of width and depth, and it will be sent to CivilNX, and then there all calculations will be done. So it has to be sent back, and then only the calculations will be done there.
Cool. Thanks for the answer. Yeah, we can go to the next one. Example.
In the same way, you can create similar script for the pre-stressed composite type of structures as well. And we have this tendon profile component, which takes XYZ inputs. So you can define some parameters for the, you can say tendon profile, and you can take the coordinates from the Excel as well. And then you connect it with the beam as a property, and then you can define the tendons as per that inside the Grasshopper only. Now, this is like a summary of all the components that I just showed you. So we have this sections creation, geometry creations, and then you can create plates, solids, or even beams as well. And then you can just have these live connections with these components. And then you can define some elastic link supports or other beam and releases, different kinds of you can say rigid links and as well. And here you can see you can define some loadings as well. Yeah, and definitely load cases or different type of loadings like point load or UDLs. So here we are defining the beam and release. Yeah. And then at the same time, you can define some functions like response spectrum or buckling or anything. And then you just run the analysis, define load combinations, and get back the results in the Grasshopper or any other program that you want. And also you are able to define some time-dependent properties as well. So this creep and shrinkage properties are also can be taken care inside the Grasshopper only. Yeah. So this was, I can say, mostly like the summary of what I just shared in the last two slides. So the next slide is about the connection with the Grasshopper and Python and how you can use to modify the existing models in such case. So I'll try to explain it. So we are using Python plus Grasshopper connection in this case. So we have this existing model you can see. So this is like a cable strip bridge. So what this script is doing is you can connect it with the API, and then you can actually take back all the nodal information like the node coordinates inside the Grasshopper, and then you can plot it in the Rhino like this. So as you can see here, all the nodes are seeing here. And now you can define some initial, you can say alignment that was there, and you can actually update it to any other alignment. So you can just put it any other alignment. Now connect it with this as an initial and final alignment. And all these nodes will be updated to the new alignment. And then you can just send back that information to the CivilNX. And as you can see here, you can play around with the existing models as well. And now this application is pretty much there in the BIM, I think, because sometimes contractors can change the alignments of the structures, and structural engineers have to face a lot of issues while changing the models, and the geometry changes, the complete attributes changes. And as you can see here, you can just simply use this function and you can play around with the alignments now as well. And now in this, you can also change the script, the skew angle as well. So this is like a grillage model in which you first, again, the procedure is same. You define the initial alignment and then you just change some skew angles and you will be able to visualize what's the final geometry looks like. And then you just send back that information to CivilNX and it updates the existing information that is there. And you can just use this sort of connection. And also you can update the radius of the geometry as well.
For me, as a bridge designer, is a pure gold. Is something beautiful that I cannot imagine, and especially when you would like to connect your FEM design model, like FEM model, with your BIM model. So this is something perfect. Like you can make this kind of changes, and I think we are. You answered here many different questions. So first one. This model information is sent to Midas. Does it work backwards, like you change the Midas model directly? So yes, and I think this is one of the biggest advantages. It's not just about creating Grasshopper models, but you can also take your old geometry that was created in Midas and send it through Grasshopper and do all the tweaks and send it back. So you don't have to create whole parametric model in Grasshopper. And I think this is the power here. And about alignment, you just showed, Manoj, that you've been just creating your curve in Rhino. Is it possible to use it XML file?
Currently, there is no direct way. So if somehow you can import that XML into Grasshopper and create that line alignment, then you can use this. But we are not ready there.
If it's not possible through Midas, so it's possible with Grasshopper. There are some additional plugin. So actually, if you have your land XML file, so you can import it through Grasshopper and use it. As Manoj here just show it with the line which was sketched manually. So actually, you can do the same with the land XML file. Let me see this Python component that you showed. Maybe we are let me see if people are not seeing this right now. Okay, right now they are seeing. Is it something that you developed and share it? Is it it will be available in these files which we are going to share with subscribers?
So it is made by one of my colleague. His name is Sumit. So he has coded it inside the Python. So we can share it. Yeah, it's a user defined.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So now maybe let's talk about the 2.0. What is going to be released in the new version?
Before that, I'll briefly explain about our service.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Thank you. So we have this complete API manual. So all the JSON scripts that we have complete manual for that, and also we have updated the manual for the Grasshopper as well. So all the components that you see in the Grasshopper, we have some small, you can say, introduction for them. So if you see here, if you are checking here, this is a PSC section type of component. What input it will take, whether it will be an integer or a float, or what sort of, you can say, information, what it does. So all this type of information will be given in a small article. And you can read that before you can say have a small introduction for the component that you are using. Yeah. So even we have this API manual for the JSON scripts as well. So all the you can say the attributes that are there inside the CivilNX. So there is a JSON script behind that, and we have that manual for that as well. So now I would like to introduce about our new developments that recently launched last week, the version 2.0. So the firstly about the triggers that someone mentioned as well. So we were using these trigger components. Now what we need to do is you can just simply use this run command below the component as well. And now also there is a you can say when we are updating the support. So each and every support command was going individually before, and sometimes it can take time, you can say. But now all the similar commands are clubbed, you can say, and then it's sent back directly. And then, as I was mentioning, you have to re-execute the loading component sometimes if you change the geometry. Now we have this Midas modular component, and you can connect all those existing component inside that. And then you just need to run that component and it will update the complete thing after you change the geometry. Yeah.
And they're going to be bottom, right? Activating bottom in this version as well? Yes.
Yeah. So we have this run command here. So now you can see this is a component for that. And you can connect your existing all the Midas components with this. And you can just run it once and it will create the model as per your requirements.
Perfect. Anything else that we would like to share, Manoj? We have still some questions, so we will answer them in the Q&A session. But amazing, you presented amazing examples. Like they're really cool, and yeah, our users are pretty lucky to get them and actually try it in the practical example, not just something which is imaginary, some bridges that you cannot find in the world, but actually like a through like a slap with the SKUs. So this is a really cool examples.
Thank you, Chris.
Perfect. Before we are going to go to Q&A session, I would like to just one announcement from my side. Last week, I have opened the registration for the free training. It's called Learn Grasshopper Basics. So for every engineer who would like to start with Grasshopper, I really recommend. I make this training interactive. So users go through exercises in programmed Grasshopper. So actually it's a fun of learning. Instead of watching tutorials, I have created exercises. So they are based on the patterns, on the practical examples, for example, bridges, stadiums, and buildings. So everyone which is related to engineering side. I try to keep it practical. I'm trying not to be like I'm an engineer, so I try created training for engineers. So for everyone who would like to join until 10th of October, everyone will get lifetime access to this training. It's 4 hours of video tutorials, 50 practical exercises, and we have also Discord community for that. And normally this training is priced for 79 euros, but with the coupon Basics for free, you can get it right now and test it for yourself. So for everyone who would like to start, before going using all the components with Midas, you have to know Grasshopper. It's not just that you are starting with the building your Midas components. You have to know the basics of programming, but Grasshopper is really fun and pretty easy to start with. And now you have the free training available, so you can join it right now. Okay, so let's go to Q&A session. I will just paste the link to the training so everyone can get access. We have still some 10 minutes to answer the question. We have lots of questions. And remember, wait until the end for those who will fill out the survey, which we sent before. So we will draw all the free prizes. Okay, cool. Let's go to some questions. Let me see. Okay, let's start with the top. Hello, I have a question. As Midas civil user, is it possible to import design from Grasshopper, or is only compatible with the Midas Civil NX?
What do you mean by designs?
Yeah, I think it's more like importing. I think we explained it quite a lot in this webinar, but like answering, yeah, with the Midas Civil NX has a direct connection with Grasshopper. This one about NXL files we answered. Here, it's more specific technical question. Is there a parabola calculator for tendons profiles, or I must give coordinates each meter?
Yes, you have to give coordinates. So
Okay.
currently there is no calculator for that. So I think it can be easily made inside a Excel, you can say, by just simple equation, and you just.
But come on, you can make it in Grasshopper, this parabola. So you can create it just remember that this connection is going two ways. So actually, if you can create your own parabolas with your definition, actually you can also create it graphically. And this is really cool thing about Grasshopper, that if you are thinking about some tools that some for example software do not have, so actually you can build it, so you can actually add this functionality. So maybe it's, but are you, maybe this is something like maybe I can inquire from the Midas supporters, like this kind of tools for bridge engineers, like attendance or cross-section creation, that kind of tools that you can inbuild in the Grasshopper components, that it will be easier to define, that you don't have to create your own packages for creating the Grasshopper attendance in this case. Okay, let's go to the next question. Let me see. I will just put our free like this. Okay. Could we expect to see a future Midas Civil NX Grasshopper training similar to last year's certificate program by Midas IT Europe?
Yes, sure. So as your Midas clients, yeah, we are happy to provide these online training sessions for free. Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry if I missed. Midas Gen supports Grasshopper too?
So the Midas Gen is our building structure FEM software specialized for buildings. So at the moment right now, we don't have any API connections with the Midas Gen. So it's not possible to support Grasshopper, but we are currently developing on it. So probably by next year, I would say, we'll be officially releasing with the API connections. Yeah.
That's cool. And I think it's also important that people are insisting to use that, and using, if someone would like to use a civil connection, so developers will see and all that this is a need. And so if you are start bombarding questions to Midas developers, so you will put the pressure. So but I think like every single company knows how Grasshopper is precious. So I think that every single company, and this is a good test starting with the civil, because it's more natural to start it with the infrastructure. So it was good step. So maybe next year we can do a opening webinar for the Midas Gen, right?
Of course. I'm ready. We are ready.
Daniel, does the API key need connecting to anything else in Grasshopper, or once linked to Midas, can it just sit in the corner?
Yeah, it can sit in the corner. Yeah, you just need to connect it once.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Maybe this about API. It wouldn't have been not enough to make the APIs public, like other software that makes them available for free, by the way.
I mean, API is free. You just need to have a civil NX connection, to be honest. So as you can see, this Grasshopper and everything, this just comes with the civil license.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say that existing Midas Civil was not that good enough to take the API connections. So there were some modifications done in that regard, and we had to upgrade the existing software to another next generation to make that connection possible.
Roy, someone asked about your email. I don't know if you're giving your email, but yeah. So how people can people connect with you?
So my email address will be royhan, ROYHAN @midasit.com. So it's MIDASIT.com. So you can contact me through here, and yeah, I'm happy to answer.
Maybe you can just write it in the comments here, if you can just write it. But be careful, there are some comments for you, Roy. So I'm not sure if you would like to share with everyone, but it's your decision if you make it available.
Of course, I'll do that.
Manoj, how easy is to specify user-defined materials with the Midas component?
Yeah, with the 2.0, we have this possibility. So you just need to define the elastic modulus, and you can just define user-defined material as well. Yeah.
Is it possible to then decentralize global model into various analyses like dynamic analysis, static analysis, and later on club all the analysis into one model?
So as I was talking about, this is just a UI, you can say a separate UI for the existing civil NX. So what you can do is you can just define them one by one. But if you want to, run the model, so you have to run it together. There is no way the model can actually take the results individually and club it together on it itself. So if you want to just check the static analysis results, you just turn off the dynamic analysis component and you just run the static analysis, check the results. But if you want to run them together, they have to be run together as well. Yeah.
Perfect. Let me see. Do we have more questions? Yes. Patik, does it generate report along with diagrams and graphs after analysis?
Yes. So Grasshopper component does not support that, directly. So, but we have the API in which you can just simply take out the, views like diagrams or even the tables. So you can take the screenshots automatically with the API. You can even check the resolutions. You can even set the resolutions, and you can paste them inside any other third-party app. So we have that possibility. So that's possible actually. API can do.
Yeah. And question that, to be honest, I do not understand. PSC design is something pre-stressing concrete now. Okay.
Yeah.
But the second one, I do not resolve. AASHTU. What does it mean?
Standard American design. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that iteration manually, but let's say you cannot use the design components directly. So we do not have the API currently open for all the design. So we do not have the API, you can say, let's say for the ASHTO PSC design. But there is a possibility, as I was mentioning, you can just simply take back the results from the model. And if you can do some simple coding and put some design checks in your script of that code, and you can actually iterate that design. But with Grasshopper plus NX using Python, it's possible manually. So there is no direct component yet for that.
Perfect. And we can take last question. So if you still have questions, so it's a last chance before the draw the prize. Is it possible that only a part of nodes to be moved through Grasshopper? For instance, I want to define the alignment, spans, and the skew angle based on the imported nodes from Civil, and then to make changes.
Yeah, so as you can see, I had different beam element components or node element components. So you can just turn off. Currently, I'm using the trigger to activate all of them. So you just break that connection with the trigger, and only the connection that you have selected, you just send that to civil units. So it's that simple. You can just use them separately as well.
Yeah, and this is like really powerful thing. And if you switch this thinking that you don't have to do everything in Grasshopper, you can just do one part which you use most of your time. So this is it. Just so the question for me, Chris, what's your Discord group name? When you join this free training, so you will get all the information in lesson how you get this access to the group. Okay, last question. When importing user-defined section, some features are not working, such as automatic temporary gradients, temperature gradients. Is that being solved in the Civil NX? Do you have this information, Manoj?
Yeah. So if you can think of in perspective of us, I'll try to explain it. So let's say if you are defining a user-defined section, so the software doesn't know like which is the web, which is the flange, or which is what part. It's a user-defined section and it is meshed automatically in the FPM. and you can just think of in this term like it's not even it's difficult to do that sort of development. So currently it's not has been done.
Okay, cool. It was last question. So now, Roy, we have a big announcement. So now we have the wheel with the all names for people. We just hide the names so they will be not visible, but we are going to send the email for 3 lucky winners. So let's spin the wheel and see who won the prizes.
Sure. Before starting this, Chris, I have to tell you that you are a really popular influencer. While starting this webinar, I have lots of registrants, so I was really struggling to input these all data in just before starting this. So yeah, thank you, Chris.
No,
Okay.
actually, I like to be honest. This webinar was lots of fun, especially as I would like to repeat, especially for me as the bridge designer. I would like to focus on that. I'm also trying to promote another way of working with Grasshopper, but bridges are my lovers. So yeah, I cannot miss that one. So let's choose the three winners.
Okay, let's go. I'll start.
And the first name who is going to be?
Congratulations, Mr. or Miss Luis Santos. So yeah, you're the first winner. So I'll contact you through the email about this $100 of Amazon gift voucher.
Luis, if you are with us, you can just write here, but Roy is going to contact you. Let's choose the second one.
Yes, let's go.
Yes, we have it.
The second winner is Mr. or Miss Higuera. So congratulations. Again, I will contact you through the emails. Yeah, thank you.
And the third one, we'll see. Maybe someone who is someone who is live with us.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. or Miss Blue, congratulations, you're the last winner. I'll contact you through the email as well. Thank you very much for the registration. Thank you.
Perfect. So just the last announcement. Again, if someone would like to join Grasshopper basic training, so learngrasshopper.com basics, and there was an easy way to start with Grasshopper, an amazing journey, and start to change way of working with all the softwares that you are creating, bridges or another building structures. So again, guys, thank you. It was really fun. I hope when you are going to release the new components, maybe something advanced, maybe next one about the generative design, showing the loop, how you can optimize all the hangers or the bridge design. It will be cool. And maybe about another softwares. Here, last question, Midas FEA. Maybe this is also the next future. Is it on the list?
The API is on the list. Yeah.
Perfect.
So API is on the list, but I'm not too sure about Grasshopper. Should be there, I think, but I am not confirmed about this. But API is on the list, yeah, for API.
Perfect. Thank you again. Congratulations for 3 lucky winners. Thank you for sponsoring these prizes for the winners. And yeah, all the registrants on the Learn Grasshopper will get tomorrow the Grasshopper file so they can play it with them. So thank you again. It was a pleasure and hope to see you next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Chris. It was an honor to do a webinar with you. Yes, bye.